We are here to facilitate your entry into this work in any way that you want to. So please do speak with them as well. All right, so without any further ado, fluency in your other native language. We all speak a language, right? Or 3 or 4, some of us. But it all starts with movement. This language starts with movement. From the early morning bounce or slide out of bed until the last crawl or roll over at night, every child negotiates his or her way along the pathways of body actions in space and time with an ever-increasing and specific array of expressive and functional actions. And so do adults. But that gets laid in childhood. Our patterns get set in childhood. And we spend the rest of our lives dealing with that. Movement is the primary intelligence. Those of you who know Howard Gardner's work, you know that there's all these intelligences. Well, this is the first one. Right? How do children learn about the world? Reflections of what they're seeing and perceiving through the mirror neurons, explorations via experimentation, attachment, separation, and individuation processes, the dance of attachment, refinement of skills, right? Want to be on the Little League team? You have to practice a little bit. And extending the range of what's possible. Laban movement analysis is about noting changes. It's not about a gesture or a particular way of posing. You know, we often say, you know, just because somebody crosses their arms doesn't mean they're defensive. They could be cold. They could be listening. They could be receptive. But what we're looking at is how people change. And we think of these things in terms of dichotomies, whole, part, micro, macro. But in the Laban work, we don't separate those polar ends, these dualities. They inform each other. They define each other. So we look at whole movement and we look at the parts. We look at the micro, the details of the moment. We look at the macro. We understand that movement is an inner experience, outer expression. Some movements are more functional, some are more expressive. We stabilize to mobilize, we mobilize to stabilize. And all of that comes together under the 4 categories, inform each other: body, effort, shape, and space. And I'm not going to go into body, effort, shape, and space right now, because you have to take the program. Those are the 4 categories that we talk about. There's another aspect of this work, which is the Bartenieff fundamentals. And this is a really quick summary of the Bartenieff fundamentals. They're about how to practice access, connection, organization, clarity, and give internal support for expressivity in space. And you do that in many, many ways, but that's basically what we're going for. The studies themselves include semantics practices, Bartenieff fundamental, hands-on work, observation work, the theory, the active exploration of expressive choices, modes of relationships, spatial scales, observation skills, motif writing, macro and micro level analyses, and a myriad of applications. And you're going to look at some of these right now. Fortunately, they're not in bed, so I'm going to show you a couple things right now. This is 2 CMAs. On hard drive.
Karen Bradley, what is Thompson? What are they up to, those guys, with the bots?
They're having an authentic moment, and we haven't seen very much authentic movement from Fred Thompson. Mitt Romney tends to be fairly restricted, and he stays in this very vertical place, and he's having a good time up there. He's very upbeat, and we saw Fred Thompson move from this head-forward moment to having a good time. And they have a little moment of interaction at the end of it that says, here are 2 genuine people. It's
Motion capture. See if you can tell who this is.
No.
No? Watch them. Peggy Hackett. You can tell because it's not free-flowing and strong. So, this is work that's being done at NYU with a motion capture expert named Chris Bregler, and he's capturing effort, which is a very, very difficult thing to quantify and to provide algorithms for. So,
Yeah, captured for that.
Peggy's movement, yeah, she is the only one he's captured so far. Some people use the word. This is Claire Porter, CMA, who works with gesture.
This must be going through security at the airport.
Say this position? Do you like this one this way? Or like this? What does this position do? I can do this. What about this? Sometimes this. So many positions out there. You know, I mean, here's the position. Or this one. I'm pretty good at this position.
Malcolm Gladwell's new book, What the Dog Saw, includes some writing about, we don't have any video of this, about Susie Totora's work. And I just wanted to show you this. This is Malcolm Gladwell was interested in Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer, and why he was so successful. And so he came and asked me to describe what Cesar was doing in movement that was working and was so effective with the dog. We looked at about 4 or 5 hours of video together, and what I saw in Cesar Millan's movement was that he was versatile, and that he was adaptable, and that he was able to attune to the dogs and the people who owned the dogs. And I just want to read this one paragraph. I sent him to Susie Totora because she works with autistic children. Not because autistic children are like the dogs, but she's trained to observe and attune and adapt in the same way that Cesar Millan instinctively attunes, adapts, and attends. It was impossible to see Totora with Eric and not think of Cesar with John B. Here was the same extraordinary energy and intelligence and personal force marshaled on behalf of the helpless. The same calm in the face of chaos, and perhaps most surprising, the same gentleness. And I don't want to say any more about that, but the chapter is in his book, and it is the title chapter of his newest book. He did a beautiful job of writing about modeling analysis. Here's Janet Hamburg's motivating moves for people with Parkinson's. Why study this work? You will be more comfortable in your own skin. You will find your way through your own personal transformations. And I think the students and faculty can tell you a little bit about that. You will see others differently, and you will see yourself as others see you. The name of Ellen Golden is what of Ellen Golden is. You will choose how you will make the world a better place. You will make a difference. And how do you do this? You have choices. You can get one-on-one training and coaching from anybody who's a CMA. We have workshops. We have ongoing classes. There are university courses all over the country in this work. And we have year-long and modular training programs. And Corinne and Anna can tell you all about those as well. And here are just some photos of some happy students. Some of them in the room. Satisfied students. I wanted to just ask Frederick to say a couple of words, and perhaps Ellen, about what it's like to teach in this program and what the work has been for you. So can you say a little bit about